One of the most significant allegations in Baldoni's lawsuit is that Lively sought to gain control over the editing process of the film.
You're not kidding when you say this is getting messier. The author of that book deleting her Instagram account, another who plays Baldoni's sister in the film, being harassed.
Once praised as one of Hollywood's most attractive personalities, Blake Lively is currently at the center of a media. The story has become even more shocking with each new revelation. But how did we get here? How did blonde bombshell Blake Lively, who seemed to have it all, fame, fortune, the ideal Hollywood marriage, become the antagonist in one of the most explosive celebrity dramas we've seen in years? This firestorm has audiences and insiders alike questioning everything they thought they knew about her.
Still getting messier and messier in the It Ends With Us feud between co-stars Blake Lively.
Returning to the beginning, the set of It Ends With Us, the movie was meant to be a turning point in Blake's career as well as that of her co-star and director Justin Baldoni, but instead it turned into a battlefield that revealed purported power struggles and manipulation behind the scenes. According to insiders, Blake Lively has been accused of taking over the production, rewriting scenes to fit her vision, and trying to take creative authority away from Baldoni in ways that are unprecedented and completely disastrous.
I said that having read through Blake Lively's complaints, that it was evident to me that she was likely under the influence when she filed her complaint.
From the beginning, despite only being an actress and executive producer, Blake's behavior was reportedly raising eyebrows among the cast and crew, with some insiders claiming that she acted as though she owned the production. She allegedly overrode the director's decisions, forced script changes, and even dictated creative aspects of the film that were far from the director's original intent. In addition to her job description, it's important to note that Lively's camp has strongly rejected these allegations, but industry insiders who have come out against her paint a totally different picture of a power-hungry diva who couldn't help but want to take control.
A video released by lawyers for actor Justin Baldoni showed unedited footage from the filming of It Ends With Us.
What was supposed to be a puff piece promoting the film became a full-fledged expose, with anonymous sources exposing Blake's controlling behavior and the chaos she allegedly caused on set. The turning point, however, came not during the filming but after the drama spilt over into the public eye on February 22nd. The Hollywood Reporter dropped a bombshell with a cover story that sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry. The cover itself was nothing short of incendiary, featuring an eye.
That Justin won't be bullied by Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. So his lawyer told us that their recent court filings show how scared.
Social media erupted as fans who once adored Blake quickly turned on her, flooding platforms with hashtags condemning her. The backlash was swift and unforgiving, with many accusing her of exploiting movements meant to empower women for personal gain. One fan posted, "From the very start of her career, she's never been a Hollywood darling, she's always been a Hollywood bully." These harsh words reflect the growing sentiment among those who feel betrayed by Blake's alleged actions. The numbers back this up. Her social media following has been dropping rapidly since September, with reports showing a loss of over 864 million followers, and the decline shows no signs of slowing. Even her husband Ryan Reynolds hasn't been immune. He's lost nearly 400,000 followers, likely as collateral damage from the controversy. Meanwhile, Baldoni, who has been positioned as the victim in this saga, has seen a surge in support, gaining hundreds of thousands of new followers as fans rally behind him.
We can now all agree that the moral crimes committed here by Ryan Reynolds against Justin Baldoni have amounted to high treason.
But let's take a moment to discuss Baldoni while Blake's image is in free fall. Justin Baldoni has emerged from this scandal looking like a saint, and his public response has been measured. He hasn't made any dramatic public statements or engaged in mudslinging. Instead, his supporters say that the contrast between the two couldn't be more stark. While Blake is depicted as spiraling, throwing tantrums and frantically trying to save her reputation, Baldoni is literally out surfing in Hawaii.
Hey, it is also interesting that the defendants in this answer also admit that they sent text messages. I mean, when Lively produced copies of these text messages that she got through a subpoena, there's really nowhere else to go on that. You got to admit that you sent these, but it doesn't mean that Baldoni and the other defendants will agree to the context or the characterization that was laid out by Blake Lively. For
The Hollywood Reporter's cover story wasn't just a blow to Blake's public image. It ignited a storm of legal and PR battles. In December, Blake filed a lawsuit accusing Baldoni of inappropriate behavior on said allegations. He has firmly denied. Baldoni responded with a countersuit accusing Blake and her team of defamation and civil extortion. The legal drama has since escalated, with both sides throwing accusations and releasing evidence that has only made the situation more complicated. One of the most damaging revelations against Blake is that she allegedly deleted crucial text messages from her legal filings to strengthen her case. In contrast, Baldoni's team kept meticulous records, and the inconsistencies in Blake's version of events have only fueled the fire. Legal experts have called her case full of contradictions and strategic omissions, with one labeling it a textbook example of how not to handle a high-profile lawsuit
that was captured on tape. You'll see there's nothing nefarious going on. She says this actually proves her point. There's an argument that she is hiding her discomfort with what he's saying and doing, and she's just trying to finish the scene like any kind of professional. Which way you take it, which way you perceive it, again, that'll be up to a jury or the fact.
Blake's attempts to control the narrative have backfired in spectacular fashion. Her tearful interviews and victim statements have been met with skepticism, with critics accusing her of playing the victim to deflect from her own actions. YouTube bloggers, T channels, and social media influencers have dissected her every move, amassing millions of views and further tarnishing her image. One particularly scathing comment under a popular YouTube video pointed out that Blake was embarrassing herself again by hogging the spotlight and dominating the conversation even when the questions were meant for someone else. Fans have also pointed out the irony in Blake's feminist rhetoric, calling her out for allegedly using her gender as a shield to avoid accountability. One commenter remarked she claims to stand for women's empowerment, but her actions show she's only interested in empowering herself at the expense of others. And where does Ryan Reynolds fit into all of this? Known for his quick wit and likable persona, the actor has found himself caught in the crossfire. His attempts to defend Blake have been met with criticism, with some accusing him of enabling her behavior. One particularly harsh comment read, "Reynolds isn't innocent. He uses a huge cinema franchise to ridicule Baldoni, to cosplay as destroying him, and he was helped by Hugh Jackman, another cheater, while the rest of the staff just watched. Glad it wasn't them." The backlash against Ryan has been so intense that even his carefully curated public image is starting to crack. His offhand joke about the scandal during the SNL 50th anniversary special, "Great, why, what have you heard?" was criticized as tone-deaf and dismissive. Instead of diffusing the situation, it only added fuel to the fire, with many accusing him of making light of serious allegations.
Baldoni says this was all an effort to hijack the film to get her way. Lively claims she was the victim of harassment in a hostile work environment, not.
Meanwhile, Hollywood has started to distance itself from Blake. Studios are reportedly reassessing their involvement with her, with some projects being delayed or shelved entirely. Insiders have described her as a massive liability, with one source stating nobody wants to work with someone who hijacks productions and causes this kind of chaos. The industry's message is clear: Blake Lively is no longer seen as worth the risk. As the scandal continues to unfold, one thing remains certain: the Blake Lively we once knew is gone, replaced by a polarizing figure who has divided fans, colleagues, and the industry itself. As for Justin Baldoni, he's not just surviving, thriving with a wave of public support that shows no sign of slowing down. But is this truly the end for Blake, or does she still have a chance to turn things around? Only time will tell.
Such a interpretation of perspective, because I watched the footage, and I'm sure we all have, and
her husband ran Reynolds for a man who has spent more than 10 years creating an image of the effortlessly charming, universally adored Alistair. This situation is exposing a side of Reynolds that fans and colleagues alike aren't sure they like. And let's face it, when you're married to someone embroiled in a controversy this massive, staying in the shadows isn't an option. Blake Lively's personal and professional lives are collapsing in a way that Hollywood hasn't seen in years. What's really fascinating is how the fire is creating a ripple effect that affects everyone close to her. Whether deliberate or not, Ryan's engagement has made headlines of its own.
He just broke a shocking story. There is a rift, and I think that is an understatement of a word, a rift.
Ryan gave off the impression of being Blake's loving, supportive husband in the early days of the scandal, but as the public turned against her and the accusations against her grew, his steadfast commitment started to draw criticism. Supporting your lover is one thing, but falling alongside them is quite another. Some now see Ryan's efforts to protect Blake both publicly and privately as enabling behavior, And in the eyes of the public, that's not a good look. Fans used to think Ryan was a clever, self-aware man who could do no wrong, but now they're questioning how much Ryan knew about Blake's alleged manipulation behind the scenes.
So remember that what Taylor had told Justin was that Blake herself, she said, was Khaleesi, who was the queen in Game of Thrones, and Ryan, her husband, and Taylor were her dragons, her best friend. Although I think best friend is now past.
What's even more damaging is the growing perception that Ryan may have played an active role in escalating the feud with Justin Baldoni. Baldoni's legal team has suggested that Ryan's influence went beyond mere moral support for his wife, implying that he used his Hollywood clout to back Blake's creative demands on the set of It Ends With Us. One alleged incident involved a meeting at Blake and Ryan's New York home where Baldoni reportedly felt cornered by the power couple and their close friend Taylor Swift. According to legal filings, Baldoni left the meeting feeling pressured to accept Blake's rewritten scenes, a move he believes was meant to undermine his authority as the film's director. Whether or not these claims hold weight, the damage to Ryan's reputation is already taking its toll. The idea that he may have used his influence to strong-arm a fellow actor and director is a far cry from the affable persona he spent years cultivating.
Miss, first and foremost, I should tell you that I have a major scoop regarding Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, their newest legal plan, or something that they were attempting.
Not to mention the times when Ryan's attempts to make the situation humorous have gone horribly wrong. His joke during the SNL 50th anniversary special, which was intended to give the controversy a humorous spin, only served to increase the backlash. Fans were quick to criticize him for making jokes about a situation that many people don't find funny. It's obvious that Ryan's typical playbook of charm and humor isn't working this time, and the public is beginning to notice cracks in the armor. One commenter wrote, "This isn't the time for your usual sarcasm." Another added, "For someone who's built his career on being relatable, this feels incredibly out of touch."
And we also need to stop being so ADHD where we're only into stories at the very beginning of them and we never see them through. Like, we need to bring back true investigative reporting.
The industry is assessing the situation while Ryan struggles with his own fallout, and neither he nor Blake are seeing the best outcomes. Hollywood is a business that depends on relationships and reputations, and when things are questioned, the consequences may be swift and merciless. Rumors are circulating that some of Ryan's upcoming projects are being quietly re-evaluated by studios who are concerned about the possible backlash of working with him at such a volatile time. The consequences for Blake are even more dire. According to multiple sources, her Hollywood future is in shambles, with producers reluctant to sign her to major projects out of concern that the controversy will overshadow the work itself.
Okay, so for those of you, just a quick two-liner for those of you not following it. They started this movie, It Ends With Us, about domestic violence. It was his movie that he bought the rights for from the woman who wrote the book, Colleen Hoover. Then he managed to convince Blake Lively to star in it with him, and all hell broke.
Amid all the chaos, Justin Baldoni continues to play his cards carefully while Blake and Ryan are seen scrambling to control the narrative. Baldoni has taken a measured approach, maintaining his composure and allowing the evidence to speak for itself. His strategy of releasing unedited footage and text exchanges has effectively cast doubt on Blake's claims, and his refusal to engage in public mudslinging has only strengthened his image as the wronged party both fans and industry insiders are taking note, with many praising Baldoni for how he's handled the situation. That said, Baldoni isn't walking away from this unscathed. While his public image may be on the rise, the financial and emotional toll of the scandal is undeniable. Reports suggest that he has already lost out on several high-profile projects due to the ongoing legal battles. The stress of the situation is clearly taking a toll, and in a recent interview, Baldoni admitted to feeling exhausted and like an imposter, an unusually vulnerable moment that has only endeared him further to his supporters. He's also been open about the impact this has had on his family, describing the past year as one of the most challenging of his life. It's a stark reminder that even those who appear to emerge as winners in scandals like these still pay a heavy price.
This is a big mess for everyone involved. The legal drama playing out in multiple courts now, literally from coast to coast, and all kinds of people close to these stars, from personal trainers to friends like Taylor Swift, finding their names mentioned as part of this ongoing fight.
As the legal battles rage on, the collateral damage continues to pile up. Taylor Swift, who has long been one of Blake's closest allies, has found herself pulled into the narrative much to the dismay of her fans, while Taylor's team has denied any rift between her and Blake. The fact that Taylor's name is now being mentioned in legal documents is raising eyebrows and prompting questions. Then there's the rest of the It Ends With Us cast, many of whom have found themselves caught in the crossfire. Isabella Ferrer, who portrayed the younger version of Blake's character, has faced criticism for her perceived alignment with Blake during the film's promotions. A viral video compilation showing Blake allegedly talking over Isabella during interviews has only fueled the fire, with fans accusing Blake of hogging the spotlight and overshadowing her co-star.
And I think, the whole Hollywood glam is so glamorous and everything. Can you relate to the things they were saying about Hollywood? It's so easy to get seduced by the fame and the money and the glamour.
You see it all the time. That was one of my favorite things about the movie, where the subtle turns to their own transition into the...
Beyond the immediate players in this drama, the scandal is sending shockwaves through Hollywood as a whole. For an industry already grappling with issues of power dynamics and accountability, the Blake Lively-Justin Baldoni feud serves as a cautionary tale of what can happen when those dynamics go unchecked. It's a story that touches on many of the key issues currently dominating the cultural conversation: the misuse of influence, the weaponization of public narratives, and the fine line between ambition and arrogance. So what's next for Blake and Ryan? The path to redemption is unclear at best. Their efforts to control the narrative have largely backfired, leaving them with few options other than hoping the public's attention shifts elsewhere. As for Baldoni, the challenge ahead will be maintaining his newfound support while navigating the long road of legal battles that still loom. And for Hollywood, this scandal serves as another stark reminder of how fragile reputations can be in an industry where today's darling can quickly become tomorrow's pariah.
The 9 Glamour UK interview by Blake Lively. She was on the cover at the time, and in her interview, she admitted to trying to poison the cast of Gossip Girl, which is where she made her name, against her co-star Penn Badgley, who played her love interest, Dan Humphrey, on the show. She said, "At first I was so upset that they had hired him, I actually poisoned the whole cast."
One thing is clear as this story progresses: it's far from over. Will Blake and Ryan be able to repair their reputations? Will Justin Baldwin really escape unscathed? What does this scandal say about the state of Hollywood? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on this constantly changing drama. We promise you won't want to miss this one.